I just finished my first 60 days on Turkesterone and I wasn't really expecting much, but after going through and looking at all the stats I track, as well as my physique changes, I'm starting to get a little impressed. I've been training hard for over 5 years now, just using creatine and pre-workouts, pushing hard in the gym 5 to 6 days a week, trying to make sure I get as good a sleep as I can, nutrition, all that. So I figured it's finally time to try Turkesterone and track everything and see if it actually works, because there's not a lot of studies out there yet. And so the way I did this was I spent the first month picking some weights where I'm choosing my 10 rep max on my push, pull, and leg days, and then just sticking with that weight and getting as many reps as I can. Throughout the process, I did that with no Turkesterone, and I started again with 1 per day, which I finished last time. You can check out my video on that to see the results of that. But now I just finished the second 30 days doing 2 Turkesterone per day, and after this, I'm gonna continue on with the 3 a day and see how that changes. But the first thing we're gonna look at is body weight. And again, I wasn't expecting a whole lot from this. You know, let me know down in the comments if you've tried Turkesterone yet and how it worked for you, as well as like what brand did you use, because they're sourced from different places. Some don't actually have the Ajuga Turkestanica, I don't know, let me know in the comments. I took my average weight from the first trial session, no Turkesterone, and it was 183.4 pounds. So then we moved on to this 1 Turkesterone per day throughout this trial, and it went up to 184.4 for the average weight. And then I just finished again, and you know, this was February 21st when I got this first average weight, then beginning of April when we got the second, and now mid-May, and I'm at 185.5 for my average weight for this second trial run. So we're up 2 pounds in a little over 2 months, which doesn't sound like a whole lot when you see guys like Alex Eubank, you know, get on TRT and put on 12 pounds in a couple months. It looks like pretty much all muscle. But you know, can you really gain 12 pounds if you're just taking testosterone replacement? Because ideally that's putting you in a normal range, not, you know, 1500 plus. So try to have realistic expectations. We're talking about natural supplements. Nothing crazy is gonna happen. And the last time I remember putting on a pound of muscle per month was my first year of training hard, where I put on like 10 or 11 pounds over a year. And I didn't really notice it until I looked at my before and after pictures, and I was like, wow, that was a big change. So these 2 pounds in a little over 2 months, let's see what that looked like in the physique shots. So on the left, we have the before. That's with the average of 183.4 pounds. As we're going through these, you know, I'm not seeing anything crazy. You can see veins here and the arms are sticking out more, and vascularity is something that does talk about it can bring out more because it's somewhat of a diuretic. But we can see here, I've got definitely some more veins sticking out in the arms there, a little bit across the chest, you can see a bit more. And I pumped up in both of these beforehand. I'm trying to do everything the same as much as I can. Back, let's see, hamstrings look about the same here. I mean, my back, I don't see a whole lot of difference, and I'm not expecting to be looking leaner. So if I look pretty much the same leanness, but I'm getting heavier and heavier, then that's an indication that you're pretty much just putting on muscle. So that would be a good sign. You know, I would say, I don't know, I'm around like 12% body fat or here or so. I'm not sure. Let me know down in the comments what you think. You know, everyone misjudges what their own body fat is and usually judge lower than what they actually are. See it on Reddit all the time. So this front double bicep, veins look very similar, maybe a tiny bit more in the obliques possibly, not a whole lot of change. Quads look about the same as far as definition. My wife did say that she thought my face in these after photos looked a little bit leaner. So, you know, you lose fat from your face. Look at Will Tennyson in his show that he just did. His face was looking pretty, what's the word? Skeleton-like. You know, not the most attractive version. So having some fat on your face is good. Legs look about the same, abs. I mean, it may be a tiny bit more oblique, so that could be slightly leaner, which if you are heavier and looking slightly leaner, that's an even bigger bonus, because that means you're putting on more muscle and burning some fat. Legs, I mean, it looks pretty much the same there. You definitely, the veins are sticking out some more in the forearms there. And I have been noticing the last like couple weeks, like my veins in my forearms have been, all this here is pretty intense. So definitely some vascularity going on there. Here, a little bit of veins in the lats, I kind of see it there. Like again, the oblique standing out a little bit more. You see how these veins here standing out a little bit more. The quad definition looks about the same. My arms almost look like they're overpowering. I need to work on the lats some more. Feel free to let me know what I need to work on in the comments, you know, because I'm to the point where I can try to start, I guess, specializing certain areas to try to bring them up. Yeah, quads there look about the same. Again, here, obliques look like they're standing out a little bit more here. I was 183 when I took these pictures. You know, we talked about the average weight was 2.1 pounds difference. But then today, this morning, I was, this was my weight the other day on my last set, but today I was 186 and a half, I believe it was. So we're talking about 3.5 pounds heavier. And as you can see here, I've been in like the 187 to 188 range over the last couple weeks. So my average weight just from the last couple weeks of this has been quite a bit higher than this 185. So I'm guessing that's probably gonna jump up 2 to 3 pounds when I go over this next session of doing 3 per day. And if I gain more weight from that, who knows? I could be up in the 190s, but that's what impressed me with it, because you don't see those little changes from day to day. And even if you were to take your own progress pictures like this, you know, I tell people try to go 6 months between progress pictures, because if you just do like a month at a time, you're not gonna see a big change. But in this case, the scale weight's going up and I look pretty much the same, which is a good indication that I'm building muscle. I haven't put on muscle at that rate in a long time. So good sign so far, but when it comes to strength, that wasn't quite the case, and that's what we're gonna get into next. I did leg press for legs, and then bench press for chest day, and then I did these seal bench rows for my back day. And I had all those numbers. I started with 350 for 10 on the leg press and ended up with 350 for 15. Then the second round, I went from 380, so I bumped it up to 380. I got 11. And then I ended up doing 380 for 18. So instead of improving just 5 reps, that time I improved 7. And this time I bumped it up to 430 pounds for 10. I ended my last session this week with 430 for 17. And that was brutal. I mean, I was pushing hard through that. My legs have been improving a lot, and my legs are sore the day after every time. Most of the time for 2 days, then I'm pretty much good to go after that. Same with bench press. I was sore after every workout. My chest was sore. Not that you have to be sore to make progress. Like, I never really feel my lats getting sore. I feel them getting pumped when I'm working out, and I know I'm getting them, but they never really feel that sore. More so my forearms start to, even though I use VersaGrip. So, you know, which muscle group gets sore for you, and how much do you work at? Let me know in the comments. But for bench press, it didn't go so well. So my trial run, I went from 200 for 10, ended up with 200 for 12. I thought I was gonna get 13. I got like halfway up on that one, but it didn't work out. But the second time around, I got 210 for 10, and I ended up doing 210 for 11. So I only went up 1, and this is over 7 sessions of working out. And so I bumped it up 5 more pounds to 215. I got 10, but then I had regression. I went down to 9 reps. Then on the third session, I went back up to 10, and then back down to 9, stayed at 9, then back to 10 on the 6th session. And then I tried for 11 on my last session this week. I was like, come on, you can get it. But I got like not even halfway up and dropped it back down on myself on the safety rail. So bench press not going quite as well, although something I will say is the subsequent sets definitely did improve. If you look at here, had 215 for 10, then for 8, then 205 for 9, 195 for 10, 195 for 9. But I was able to get 215 for 10, then 9. So that's an extra rep. 205 for 10, then 200 for 10, then 195 for 11. So I maintained more strength, I guess, throughout it, and improved on those other lifts. And I still improved on my dips and all my other exercises. But then when it comes to back, I think I'm gonna have to do something different, because I think I went up just too much weight last time. I initially started with 155 pounds on these seal bench rows, and I felt it pretty good in my back. I got up to like 15 reps. I bumped it up to 175, and I think that was just too much. I got 175 for 12, just barely. And I bumped it up to 180 because I felt like the 175 was kind of pushing it. And as you can see, 10, 10, 10, it was 10 the entire time. And I ended up just deciding I'm gonna drop the weight for my next round, or maybe even just start doing the same seal row bench but with dumbbells to change the grip, because I think what was happening, I've been doing these underhand grip rows, which work really well for me. I feel my lats, but the weight was just too big of a jump. And I think what was happening is while I was doing the row, pulling up, I would get like the first 5 reps like this, and it would hit the bench, the bar underneath me. But then when it started getting harder, I would get it up, but want to touch it and would kind of go like this and start curling the weight at the end. So it's like up and then try to curl. And that put a whole lot of strain right here. And about halfway through this whole 2 Turkesterone per day session, I started having pain in my forearm right here and my tendon, and it's been getting worse and worse. And I also, I was doing pull-ups like this, and it was starting to put extra stress on my tendons because of, you know, it was already getting sore right there, and I was doing heavy curls after that. So I got these hook grips that go in, and the handles you can pull down and like change whatever angle you want. So I changed to like a 45-degree angle to start doing my pull-ups. That helped a lot with the angle on my biceps, and I felt it more on my back. So the back day is not gonna be a good comparison with what I started with, but I can't keep doing it with it hurting me. It's just gonna mess stuff up. But I can still have a good gauge on just the chest and leg days for sure. So trying to be smart with preventing injury and soreness from that, because if I hurt myself, snap a tendon or something, I won't be able to do bench press or anything like that. So gotta be smart with it, change that up some and see how it goes for the next time around. But other things that are more subjective, like pumps, they felt pretty much the same. The motivation or aggression, like I'm motivated to push hard. Like I wanted to get more reps, and that's why I kept pushing as hard as I could, and like didn't realize I was curling the weight. So I was motivated, but I was ego lifting on the rows because of that. I'm about to take a 2-week vacation, and I'm just gonna go to the gym maybe a couple times a week and just do some light stuff and then hit it hard when we get back doing the 3 Turkesterone per day. Sleep didn't change for me. You know, people have said it messes with their sleep. I was fine on 1 a day. I've been fine on 2 a day. We'll see how it goes with 3 a day. You know, that's what Mr. Doucette said. Messed up his sleep if he took 3 a day and didn't do it first thing in the morning. So we'll see if that starts changing. And the last thing's blood work. I took my blood work before I started all this, and I'm gonna wait till I finish the 3 a day. So that's probably gonna be like close to 2 months from now. I'll do blood work again. And on that last video, we'll compare if it actually affects your blood work. But that's been my experience so far. I was hoping for more gains in the strength department. Again, with the legs, it's been good. Bench press, I've really been wanting to get up to 225 for 10. Like, I think I'm gonna get there. It's just gonna take longer than I thought. But we'll see how it goes in this next time around with doing 3 a day. And who knows, maybe, you know, just, I could feel some pressure when I initially started doing my bench pressing, because you're still, you know, tensing right here, and I can feel the weight as my arm, you know, you're essentially doing the same curl position was affecting my bench press too. That's possible. So after taking a couple weeks of rest and changing to more neutral grip type of row, maybe my bench press is gonna start shooting up again. We'll see what happens. You know, let me know down in the comments if you've ever had issues like that, what you did about it. My neck's been hurting some too. It's like, I think just straining so hard with that, it's sore. So hopefully the next 2 weeks, I'm gonna fix a lot of these ailments, then get back into this, see how this works. I'm not totally convinced on the Turkesterone yet, but if I keep doing this, doing the 3 a day, and I see like another few pound gain over the next couple months, and it's pretty much lean mass, then it would definitely be something I'd recommend for someone after you've been training a long time. You've got everything down, like your diet, your nutrition, that's the same thing, your sleep, how hard you train, you're sticking with the program, you've made progress, like you've done that whole, you know, 10 pounds your first year and continuing to train hard. You know, I put on almost 30 pounds in the last 5 years. So if this can almost put me into that newbie phase again for another 6-7 months, that'd be pretty cool. And then, you know, just keep on going from there. So we'll see what happens. Again, let me know down in the comments what your experience has been with Turkesterone. I'm excited to see what's gonna happen at the end. You know, I've got a discount code in the description if you wanna check it out. And remember, not all Turkesterone is the same. Greg Doucette has the only one that's actually sourced from Uzbekistan with the actual plant versus other companies that get a Chinese copycat type plant. And yeah, hit like, subscribe. We've got tons of videos on diet and training and all kinds of stuff that'll help you out. Shoot comments down below with whatever you want to know, and I can help you out there. And I also do live videos showing my progress with these. So you can go back and look how I train there. And when I get back from vacation, I'll be doing it again. So hopefully, I'll see you soon.